Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me tonight. How are you all doing? I see that there's already a bunch in the comments, so let's just hit those right away. Okay, so we have Grandma Susan. Hello. And we have Dina. Hello. I will be reading The Things We Never Say by Elizabeth Strout. I'm not familiar with that one. And Susan is listening to The Queen's Gambit by Irina Shapiro. I probably butchered that name. And M is here. Hello. I just finished Emma M. Lyon, Volume 4. Not sure what I'll read next. What about Volume 5? I know, maybe next month, right? How are you doing, Em, on your books you wanted to finish before the end of the month? I think you had quite a few last time we chatted. And Susan is asking M, what did you think? M said, it is so good. M said, I have volume 5, but need to get through more challenge readathon books before I indulge. Nice. And Morgan, I am reading Deeper Water by Robert Whitlow. Nice. That's part of the Alexis Lindale series, I think. I think it is. And Hannah, hi. So tonight I am reading the booktuber recommendation on my Kindle, but I'm not going to share what that is. So I have decided to pick up physically because I have that on Kindle and audio. So I have decided to pick up physically Where Hope Begins by Catherine West. This, I'm not really sure. Contemporary, I'm not really sure. The very first line, because I'm like just starting it, says, my husband is leaving me. That's the very first line. So we will see. Sometimes we're allowed to glimpse the beauty from within the brokenness. So we'll find out. And M says, I have 4 books left to read for June. Okay, so I have 3. But I mean, one of them I'm halfway through, one of them I'm starting, and then I have 1 left. Susan, you pronounce, oh, good. I'm glad. And Lindsay is here. Hello. I'm finishing volume 2 of Emma M. Lyon. And Jamie is here. Hello. And we have Tori. She better be here tonight. I'm kidding, Tori. She was sprinting last night and really wanted me to sprint tonight. And I was debating about it because normally I do every other week, but that would be next week would be my normal, but I can't sprint next week because my husband's on vacation for the week. So I can't sprint at night because he won't be in bed like he normally is. And it kind of works out better for our holidays later on to kind of change the schedule. So that's what we're going to do. So I'll sprint tonight and then I'll be back on July 7th. Okay, so M has To Kill a Mockingbird, Into a Golden Era, 1776, and Fiction Revolution. To Kill a Mockingbird? It's the only one I've read. And Jamie, as I'm about to finish up Flame Theory, go ahead. And Hannah says, I'm listening to My Dear Hamilton at 68%, and I have Mildly Forgetful, My Lady in Love on my Kindle, and I'm at 36%. Nice. Tori, I wouldn't miss it. Oh, it didn't work. And Rachel is here. Hello. I'll be reading Anchor in the Storm by Sarah Sundin, trying to get out of an awful slump. Oh, that sucks. Anchor in the Storm is, oh yeah, that's book 2 of that series. I loved that book. That's the one where the female pharmacist, I'm like, it starts with a P. What is it called? And I learned, maybe this is not new information, but I learned that Sarah Sundin is a pharmacist by trade and worked as a pharmacist for years. I thought that was really cool. Okay. Hannah, I'm glad you're sprinting. Well, thank you, Hannah. Allie, yay for sprints. Allie says, hello, awesome people. Tori, I'm working on my cross stitch and starting Head in the Clouds tonight. Nice. Allie, I'm going to be reading Scars of the Revolution by Megan Soda. Jamie, I finished Part of Your World today and the Third Voice in the Wind book yesterday. Good. I really want to read Part of Your World, and I filmed my TBR games this afternoon, which is why I could film tonight or sprint tonight because I was going to film tonight. But I was able to get it filmed this afternoon, and I had every intention of putting that on my TBR. Spoiler alert, it never made it on my TBR because I don't know, I forgot about it. Ali says hi to Tori. Jamie says yes, yay. And Susan, so interesting about Sarah Sundin. Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, I don't know. I never knew that. Yeah. So I thought we would just talk about like kind of the first books that come to our mind when I read you a prompt. Because another spoiler alert for my TBR game because it's fresh in my mind. I'm doing Deck of TBR for the readathon. So I did not use my prompt cards when I planned my July TBR. So I thought, well, let's use them tonight. So I'm going to pull one. Hopefully I don't get like a forward backwards. And you're going to tell me the first book you think of when you hear this prompt. And it is a book with only one person on the cover. A book with only one person on the cover. I have two displayed on my shelves. You probably can't even see them. They're a little far away. Let me grab them. That's funny. So, Among the Innocent by Mary Alford, which is a romantic suspense. And What I Would Tell You by Liz Tolsma, which was a historical, well, a dual timeline, historical World War II and kind of 2019, so present day. And because they were both displayed, that means they're both 5-star recent reads. I think I've already talked about them in both books. Like, I think I've talked about them already. Okay. Hannah says Until Leaves Fall in Paris by Sarah Sundin. That's a really good book as well. Lindsay says Daughter of the Rebellion. I'm not familiar with that book. I'm going to guess historical. Jamie says Belle of Chatham. I think that's Laura France. I'm not familiar either. I think historical as well. Tori says hi to Allie. And Rachel says The Land Beneath Us. My favorite Sarah Sundin. The Land Beneath Us. Yes. That is book 3, right? Yes. Oh, yeah. That's a really good book. I love Sarah Sundin. And Ellie says, Scars of Revolution. That was easy. It is easy when you're reading one, right? And Lisa says, Gelato at the Villa. Robin Jones Gunn. You guys are testing me here. Do I know these authors? And Lindsay says, it's a new one from Jamie Ogle, early church history fiction. Okay, well, historical, right? Okay, more biblical, right? Like early church history. But I was close. Yeah. Okay. Are you ready for another one? Do you want to do one more? Yes, no, maybe. Okay. So 2 words in title. So a 2-word title. Lynette Eason. Target acquired, Life Flight, Serial, Final Approach, not Serial. Do you want me to grab the books? Lindsay says yes. Allie says yes. Susan says A Founding Mother by Stephanie Dray. Jamie says Flame Theory. Again, easy when you're reading one, right? Allie also says Flame Theory. Jamie says easy today. Rachel says, redeeming love. So now you're going to test me again. Redeeming love is Francine Rivers. I do know that. What else do I have on my shelf? Well, all the Hope Harbor books. Hope Harbor, Sunrise Reef, Sandpiper Cove, like all of them are 2-word titles. Hannah, Serenity Bay by Betty Noberg, Christian author, an older book. Serenity Bay. I've never heard of that one, but just by the name. Serene, right? Like, what genre is that one, Hannah? Covert Justice? Yep. Lineage Blackburn. Grandma Susan, Choke Point by Brad Thor. I'm not familiar with that one either, but Choke Point. Sounds like a suspense, maybe. I don't know. And Hannah says it is a contemporary domestic women's fiction. Follows a lady on an abusive marriage. It was amazing. Oh, interesting. Interesting. And Allie says, Jamie, I want to hear your thoughts on flame theory so badly when you are done. Have you read it, Allie? Like, do you just want to chat after finishing it, or are you just interested? Yeah. Okay, what else? Okay, yeah, it was a 5-star for me. I thought you had read it, but I wasn't sure. So yeah, it's always fun to chat books about somebody. I'm actually buddy reading my Booktuber Rec with somebody. I'm ahead of them for sure. I'm ahead of them. But it's like, oh, I gotta tell you this. I gotta talk to you about this. What are your thoughts on this? Every time I like that, it was like when I was picking my July TBR. Well, so and so wanted to buddy read this with. So are they ready? Could I do this? Buddy reading is so fun. Okay, let's do one more before spring. I know I said one more last time, but we're going to do one more because we're going to try to sprint it quarter after. Ooh, a color in the title. A color in the title. I'm going to make a mess of my shelf if I keep pulling books off. Okay, so we have The Gold Digger by Liz Tolsma, which is the very first Tolsma book I read and absolutely loved it. Then we have The Pink Bonnet, also by Liz. Really heart-wrenching story. And we have The Silver Shadow, also by Liz. I mean, they were in the same section, and my books are sorted alphabetically. I honestly, I don't remember this one as much as the rest. But they're all part of the True Colors series. And Sammy is here. Hello. I will probably spend this sprint staring at the fridge and hoping interesting food appears. Yeah, sometimes that's what you feel like, right? Just come in front of me. And Susan says, The Red Sea Rules. I'm not familiar with that one. Lindsay, The Green Ember. Again, a book I'm not familiar with. Hannah, Dawn's Untrodden Green by Carolyn Miller. Huh. I know the author. I don't know the book. And Jamie, Theo of Golden. That book is so talked about right now. And Jamie says, Into the Golden Era. Yes. That's the newest Timeless book, right? Into the Golden Era? I think so. We'll see. Okay, so I will put my bookshelf back together and we're going to go into a sprint. We're going to sprint for half an hour. So we'll go till 1:45. This one. And I found this campfire. And hopefully it doesn't have ads. We'll see. Happy reading, everyone. Okay, that is the end of our first sprint. How did you do? I got 22 pages read, and this book actually starts on page 1. Not very many books do that, I find. But it also starts in the winter sometime, the first snowfall of the year. And what are they going to do about Thanksgiving and Christmas? I was like, really? Really? So we'll see. Okay, so Allie was answering the color in the title question, Black, Red, Green, White books by Ted Dekker. And Sammy, Anne of Green Gables. Yes. And Hannah is saying that she also writes Regency, and it's amazing. Kind of a gothic feel to it. That's Carolyn Miller, right? Have you read, what's the book called? The Captivating Lady Charlotte by Carolyn Miller. It's a Regency. I've had it on my TBR prior to 2020. I actually have books 1 and 2 in that series. And I don't know. I haven't read them. And intuitive reading. Hi all, just joining now. Going to try and read some in Emma by Jane Austen. Nice. Hannah got to 71% of My Dear Hamilton. Tori read 30 minutes in Head of the Clouds. Good for you. Susan made it to 36%. Morgan read 18 pages. Lindsay read 10 pages and ate dinner. What did you eat, Lindsay? Hannah says she has not. Okay. It's one of their older ones for sure. I like her new series. I don't know why you're saying sorry. Allie, I got 4 pages done and made a snack. Nice. Lindsay's saying hey to Lauren. And I found my February wrap-up video I didn't edit or post yet. I had downloaded it from the cloud to work on. I'll probably do doing that tonight. Better late than never, right? And Lauren saying hi to Lindsay. Tori said hi to Em. Lindsay said hi to Tori. And Dina got 28 pages read. Good. We're all making good progress. I could work on editing my video. I don't know. I'm actually kind of into this already, which I really didn't expect to. But I mean, as I said, the first sentence, my husband is leaving me, so it deals with a separation, but it also deals with the loss of a child. So we'll see. Lindsay had black bean soup. Nice. Okay, let's try another book, find another book to chat about. Or books. And that one's not going to work. That one's not going to work. Of course, I'm finding the move forward ones. Okay, Jamie says, I like Carolyn Miller's new series, Not Exactly Mr. Darcy and Not Precisely Mr. Knightley are the first 2 in the series. Yes. I really liked her original 6 hockey series. So yeah, I need to read more by her. Okay, let's just talk about a favorite author. Who is your favorite author? That is hard because there's not one favorite author, right? There's a bunch of favorite authors, especially depending on the genre. So, favorite author. Tori says, does God count? Tori's cheating here. Yeah, let's go with fiction. They write fiction. Hallie says that's cheating. Lee says Michelle Shockley and Heidi Chavaroli currently. Yes. What is your favorite Michelle Shockley book, Lee? I love her. And it is definitely All We Thought We Knew. And Dina says Anne Patchett. I've never read anything by her. Jamie says it depends on the genre, right? OG would be Lori Wick and Francine Rivers. Again, two authors I've never read. And Tori says, I mean, the parables are technically fiction. Are they, though? M says, I think my favorite Christian fiction author is Karen Whittemire, even though I've only read 4 books. That's fine. My favorite otherwise is Agatha Christie. Yeah, I probably could have guessed that, M. My OG favorite author is Terry Blackstock. Definitely. But I mean, I love Karen Whittemire for like Western for sure. Sarah Sundin for World War II. Yeah. It's hard to pick just. Yeah. Allie says this question is impossible for me. Yeah, right? It is hard. And Susan says, one of my favorites is Misu Andrews, biblical fiction, nonfiction, Max Lucado. Well, I have read Max Lucado. I think I've only read maybe 2 books. I've never read Misu Andrews, but I've also never read biblical fiction. Tori says, I really like Shelley Shepherd Gray, God-centered stories that are cute and fun. Ellie says, I'm going with my long-standing love of Robin Jones Gunn. Nice. And Lee says her favorite Michelle Shockley is Count the Night by Stars. Yeah. That one made me so desperate to go see the Parthenon. Like that was really, I had to go to Nashville just to see the Parthenon because of that book. I mean, I knew nothing about it until I read that book. And Hannah says, if Lynn Austin writes it, I'm going to read it. Yeah, I need to read more Lynn Austin for sure. I loved If I Were You by her. And so I think I've only read 3 because I've read that series, like that duology. And while we're apart, while we're far apart. Yeah, while we're far apart. Yeah, so I've only read 3, but I mean, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 on my TBR shelf to be read. Tori says another favorite is Bella Forrest. She writes clean YA. I'm not familiar with that author. And Hannah says, I just read The Lumber Baron's Wife and it was so good. That is one of the ones that's on my shelf that to read at some point. And also A Proper Pursuit is my favorite that I've read of hers. I've never heard of that one, but I'm not all that familiar. And Susan says, Allie, Robin Jones Gunn had a new release today, the Suitcase Sisters series. Yeah, that's the Tea with Elephants gelato at the Villa. I have no idea what the 3rd book is. It's new, apparently, so I haven't heard people talk about it yet. It hasn't stuck in my mind. Okay. What other favorite authors are there? Irene Hannon for suspense. Lynette Easton for suspense. Lynn H. Blackburn for suspense. Allie says, Susan, yay, I was supposed to read the first one this month, but I haven't been able to get to it. Jamie says, Grandma Susan, that is already downloaded on my Hoopla. Shortbread in the Highlands. That's it. That's the Scottish one. Yeah. Since I posted the video about books set in Scotland, I've got so many recommendations. And I was like, I've never heard of majority of these books, which is great. So yeah, I need to go through and write down some of those because some of them sound really good just based on the title even. Hannah says, I love Catherine Marie Haig. I've heard the name. I want to picture a book cover almost, but I could be mistaken. That might not be. It's like a, because I don't know if I've read her. Okay, yeah, Fancy Pants. I totally recognize that book cover. But, oh my. She's a lot of books. Oh. I read A Heart Song Presents years ago by her. That's it. The book's called In His Will. It was put out by, yeah. Susan says, Allie, I think you will love it. Allie's excited. And Lauren says, Laura France and Pam Jenoff. Again, not authors I've read. I need to probably expand my horizons. I've read a lot of authors 2.0 because I really stick to the authors I know. And Susan says, Allie, looking forward to your thoughts. And Hannah says, Jennifer Cheveroni is another favorite of mine. Again, an author I recognize the name of, but I couldn't name any books by her. Yeah. Okay, so I talked about suspense. Contemporary. I don't know for favorite. I don't read a lot of contemporary romance. It's not my favorite. And there's authors I've really enjoyed some books, but then other books I really did not. So yeah, that's not one I read a lot of. Jamie, the Suitcase Sisters books are so amazing. Yeah. They sound really interesting because of the travel aspect of them. Hello, Library Girl. Bittersweet by Cathy Marie Haig is a powerful story. Interesting. Elma is here. Hello, everyone. Just stopping in to say hi. I'm serving at VBS all week, and we just got home. Makes a long day, right? Allie, Pepper Basham is up there, but a couple were kind of misses, so I can't fully say favorite yet. Yeah, I kind of agree. There's some of Pepper's I've really, really enjoyed, and others just were not for me. And Jamie, Elma, that sounds tiring. Yeah, it does. And Elma, I'm almost done with Beyond the Clouds. Oh, I really hope you're loving it as much as I did. I really hope. I want to know your thoughts. And Elma says, yes, Jamie, very tiring. And Hannah says, Library Girl, I haven't read that one yet. And Lauren says, Hannah, have you read Resistance Women? And Jamie says, Pepper Basham is a good one. And Hannah says, yes, I have. Nice. I have not had a full 5-star book yet this month. I've had a close one, but not a 5-star. And Lauren says, that one really stuck with me. Great book. That was Bittersweet by Catherine Marie Haig. Interesting. No, sorry, that was Resistance Women. Sorry, wrong comment. Okay, are you ready for another prompt, or do we want to sprint? It's the top of the hour. What do you want to do? Tori says one more prompt, and Allie says sprint. Okay, somebody be a tiebreaker. Do we do one more prompt or do we sprint? We sprint. Okay, sorry, Tori. We'll do a prompt when we come back. Okay, so we're going to go for 30 minutes. So we'll read until 30. Happy reading. Okay, that is the end of that sprint. How did you do? I got another 24 pages read, I want to say. I've made it to chapter 5, and every chapter has a quote at the beginning of it. So this one is, life is never fair, and perhaps it is a good thing for most of us that it is not. Oscar Wilde. Interesting. Where were we? Hannah was the tiebreaker. Hannah says sorry to Tori. Allie says sorry to Tori. That's okay. We'll get to a question. Tori says, oh, darn. I get to listen to my book and craft more. That misery. An eccentric raven is here. Hello. And reading The Witches of Worm by Zelvia Keatley Snyder, a middle grade horror fantasy. And Lucy popped in. Hello. I can't tell y'all what I'm reading. It's a secret for a vlog and a collab I'm doing. I think I might have heard about that you were doing a collab with somebody. She talked about it the other night. That's funny. She didn't tell us what she's reading or what you're reading for her, whichever. Jamie says hi to Lucy. Tori says hi to Lucy. Lucy says hi to Tori. Lucy says work is so intrusive in my sprinting life, right? Totally. Lucy says hey to Jamie. And Bethany is here. Hello, just got settled on the couch after VBS. My brain may be too tired to read right now, but I was excited to get on here anyways. Well, welcome, Bethany. And she says, oh, I was scrolling back through the comments about favorite authors. That was fun to read. And who is your favorite author, Bethany? She says, I've never read anything by Heidi Chavaroli, but Tanya's posts have convinced me to add all her books to my online cards. Nice. And Susan made it to 40% and is saying hi to Bethany and Lucy. And Bethany is saying hi. Morgan got 18 pages read. Tori listened for another 30 minutes at 1.5 times speed. And Lindsay got 20 pages read. I'm so close to finishing. Good. Tori's saying hi to Bethany. Oh, Jamie made it to 96%. So close to finishing too. And Eccentric Raven got to 17%. And Katrina is here. Hello. Reading Chaos Walking. And Taylor, howdy. Tori, hey, Tay. And M, I'm all over the place. I read 8 pages of Meet Felicity, American Girl, and watched a few minutes of Harry Wilde while my video downloaded, then edited the intro. Good for you. Lindsay's saying, hey, Tay. And Bethany, hi, Tori. Okay, speaking of Tori, let's do a question or prompt. That's not going to work. Okay, do you have a 5-star prediction that you're anxious to read very soon? What is a 5-star prediction coming up for you? Library Girl, reading Blue Moon Promise by Colleen Coble. Such a blessing to have so many good books to choose from without compromising Christian values. Yes, that is so true. I don't recognize that title of that Colleen Coble book, though. Jamie saying, hey, Tay. So I only have one 5-star prediction left to read, and then I can do a wrap-up video. And that is Break of Day by Colleen Coble. Wow. Yes. My mind just went blank. Oh, okay. So Jamie is saying Shortbread in the Highlands. That's the Robin Jones gun book. Katrina is saying Mad Mabel and Head in the Clouds. I do not know who the author of Mad Mabel is, but I know I've seen that book around. And Head in the Clouds is Karen Whittemire, which, yes, should be a 5-star read. And Lizzie says, All She's Ever Wanted by Lynn Austin. Huh. I'm not familiar with that title. M says, 5-star prediction is Into a Golden Era. Nice. Bethany says, is probably all we thought we knew. Well, I will tell you, that was a 5-star book for me. Dina says, Whistler by Anne Patchett. Susan also says, Shortbread in the Highlands. Tay says, The Huntress by Carrie Cotton. Shouldn't you have read that already, Tay? That's okay. That's okay. And the eccentric Raven says, I plan soon to read Dear Mr. Henshaw. Nice. And Tori is Head in the Clouds. So far, I'm enjoying it. It seems like everybody is reading that right now. Huh. Jamie says, I have to get to that. And Lindsay says, it's one of her older books, but it sounds like my kind of book. Yeah. Wow, I have something stuck in my throat. Yeah. So I had another question for you tonight. Okay, I still have 4 books. I'm supposed to finish this one. Yeah, well, I have 3, so yeah, I know. Doesn't always happen, right, Tay? And Lee says Last Light over Galveston. That is Jennifer L. Wright. I want to say. I also, that's on my TBR to read at some point. Yes. Okay, so I want to film a tag video, but I haven't officially been tagged in any tag videos. So I need to know what tag videos you want me to do, or that you immediately think of that I should do at some point. I don't know when, but yeah, I'm working on scheduling, planning videos for the next couple months, and I was like, And I like to post on Tuesdays and Saturdays, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, but not like it's every other Tuesday from when I sprint usually. But yeah. Mid-year book freak out day. That is actually already on my list, and I'm not technically doing the tag. I'm gonna do a Q2 summary wrap up. But I was also thinking maybe I do a battle of the books for the first 6 months of the year, and then do a battle of the books for the next 6 months of the year, because 1 year, way too many for me. I mean, I've read 67 books as of right now. No. Wait. I've read 70 books as of right now. So by the end of June, 73, if I finish all 3 before the end of the month. So I don't know. Yeah. Ali says late coming back. I was in an intense moment and couldn't stop. I totally get that. Totally. And Em says, I created a tag, the traveling book tag. I think that's what it was called. The prompts are all road trip related. That would be a good one to do. I remember Anne doing it, and I know I watched yours back in the day. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, that one would be a good one to do when we're heading off on a road trip, or planning a road trip, or when we get back from a road trip. Right? Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Because Anne did one, and like at various stops, talked about different books. So I'm like, but we don't have one planned. We do have 2 weeks of vacation yet to use, but we haven't planned them out yet. So we'll see. Lee says, yes, Battle of the Books. I'm worried about the editing and how long it will take. Because, yeah, like, and Tay says, wow, Battle of the Books. Yeah, right? So we'll see. And Katrina says, a lot of people post about newer released Christian books. I keep wondering if people had books from the 90s or earlier they would say are must reads from the 90s. I'm thinking like early 2000s. So like D. Henderson's O'Malley series, Terry Blackstock, like Newport 9/11. I'm working my way through her Suncoast Chronicles series right now, but from the 90s. Like those were late 90s. I actually, I would have been teenager, like graduating high school, going into college. Honestly, I was reading John Grisham at the time. I wasn't really reading Christian fiction. Yeah. And Bethany says, I probably need to think about my next video. Does anyone ever just go live, then upload so they don't have to edit? I feel like some people have done that. Editing is a challenge at times. And Jamie says, Last Light over Galveston was pretty good. It hit close to home for me since I live fairly close to the Gulf and Galveston and have been in the path of several hurricanes. Yeah, probably. You know, I wonder, but I don't even know if they would be. Speaking of Galveston, that reminds me of Janice Thompson, like Weddings by Bella and stuff. But I think they would still be 2000s. Yeah, 2009. I'm just thinking I read them years and years ago, but yeah. Katrina, I will have to think. And Lindsay says you should make an O Canada book tag. I thought of it since so many are doing the America the Beautiful tag. Yeah. And you know what videos I haven't watched? I'm not against America. It's in my face right now. I said to Andrew the other day, I will be very happy when July 1st or July 4th is done and it won't be so in your face. I mean, be patriotic. Go ahead and be patriotic. And yes, I did think about that, but I am not creative enough to come up with prompts. So I did search to see if there was prompts for one, like if somebody done one years ago, but I didn't like the prompts. I mean, maybe I could combine different ones. That would require some work though. Somebody just give me one. M says, yeah, back in the day is correct. I can't remember how long ago it was. Lindsay says, I love Battle of the Books. Yeah, cool. Because then I was thinking that like I could take like the best book of 6 months, the best book of the next 6 months, right? And at the like in January of 27, which is really far away, thankfully, take those two and which one would be my favorite, and then do my book bracket and see if I get the same book. It's what I was thinking, right? And M says, Lindsay, I love that idea, especially since Canada Day is coming up, right? Yeah, it's July 1st. It's next Wednesday, which is part of the reason why I can't sprint next Tuesday. Because I mean, I have Wednesday off, but my husband has, but the factory shuts down the week of Canada Day. So he's on holidays. Yeah. And Jamie says, Katrina, I was talking about Lori Wick earlier. That is the 90s. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Jamie. See, I haven't read Lori Wick. And Bethany says, Taylor, I really enjoyed your Battle of the Books. I was telling my husband all about it. And Jamie also says, a lot of Francine Rivers. And Katrina, Lindsay, I like your Canadian idea. Okay, Katrina, give me some prompts. Library Girl, Hidden in a Whisper by Tracy Peterson. It's early 2000s. Yes, I wonder if Tracy Peterson is also like late 90s. And Tay says, thank you, Bethany. Yeah, it was really fun. Hannah says, I got to 75% in my Dear Hamilton. Good for you. Hello, Bert. In the 90s, I read Frank Peretti, another author I've never read. See, I told you I wasn't reading it in the 90s. I was a little rebel. I remember reading Sweet Valley High in the 90s, John Grisham, as I said. Like, that's what I remember reading in the 90s. Yeah. And Hannah says, 4th of July is my favorite holiday. Lindsay girl, I know we are very patriotic. That's fine. You can be, you're allowed to be. Jamie said, yes, Frank Peretti, This Present Darkness was in the 90s. And Lee said, I would love to see more people make videos about older Christian fiction, but it wouldn't have to be as far back as the 90s. A lot of people are new to Christian fiction and have missed some of the older great ones that stand the test of time. I'm trying Myanmar Bay by Davis Bunn right now. This is a series from 2017, so I'm curious if I will like it. Yeah, like that's part of the reason I love rereading, for one thing in particular. But like a lot of the books I'm rereading are older books that I read like early 2010, probably on, maybe even before that. I mean, my Terry Blackstock books definitely were before that, but yeah. And Library Girl says, David, where did I get that from? Deborah White Smith was a great 90s author. I'm telling my age, aren't I? Yeah, well, me too. Bethany says, Frank Peretti is my husband's favorite author. Katrina says, Lori Wick is one of my favorites. I have 26 books. Wow. Merca. I don't know, Taylor. Jamie says, Lee, thanks for the idea. Lucy, I'm here. We're here too, Lucy. Welcome. And Susan says, the Left Behind series from the night. Yes. Katrina, we are reading those in college. That's late 90s, early 2000s again, but it started in the 90s. Yeah, totally. Now, that is a Christian fiction series I read, was The Left Behind. Thought it was this one, The Left Behind. Because I remember starting those, and then me and my best friend bought every other book. So I bought one, she bought one, I bought one, she bought one. So we had a complete set between us. I mean, we were college students. We couldn't afford it. But as soon as it was released, we bought it, and then I read it, and then gave it to her. Or she read it and then gave it to me, depending on the book, right? Yeah. I think eventually we each did get a full set, but yeah, at the beginning, that's how we read it. And Lee says, Jamie, you are welcome. I look forward to hearing more recs of older books. Yeah. And Jamie says the Cheney Duval series is a great 90s series. And Lucy, I'm sneaking a quick breather in the office with the snack size white chocolate cookies and cream Hershey's bar. Susan, Lucy, yummy. And Jamie says Jeanette Oke was the 80s and the 90s. Another author I haven't read. I should do. I mean, I really I could do a whole, probably a whole month TBR on older authors I've never read. I'm not going to at this point in time, but I mean, my TBR shelf is totally full. Lucy, I have ice cream waiting for me at home. Yay. Nice. Yeah. I'll to think. Jeanette Oke is a great writer. Susan Freeman says Gilbert Morris. I know Bethany from Bethany Brings Book reads Gilbert Morris quite a bit. And Lee says, yes, maybe not a whole month, but maybe a spinner wheel or prompt of older authors for your TBR. Yeah. I wonder, actually, Lucy says you should read Jeanette Oak. You spelled it wrong, but right. Her name is spelled wrong. You spelled my name right. For the simple fact that she's Canadian. Yeah. Actually, I was just thinking with the Canada tag, I could do like, Canadian authors, Canadian Christian fiction author. Because like I have read like Lucy Maud Montgomery and stuff, but Christian fiction, Canadian authors. Ooh, okay. You're giving me ideas. Giving me ideas. And Susan says Karen Kingsbury. Yeah, that's another one that's been around forever. It's got to be 90s. I remember my best friend having like a lot of her books. So it's got to be 90s. Jamie, yes. Oh, it's the name of the book. Sheenie Duval Wall is the name of the book. Yeah. And Katrina says Vienna Prelude by Bodie Thorne was just passed by my way by a friend. The Russian series by Michael Phillips is another awesome series. Even if you haven't read them, they are a must add to an older TBR. Maybe next year, in the far away January 2027, for next year's goal, I read so many older authors that I've never read. Because like maybe 7, I don't know. Jeanette Oak, Lori Wick. Yeah, I'm not reading Frank Peretti. Sorry, Bert. Gilbert Moore. Like there's a lot. Huh. She spells it wrong though. I mean, she's older than me, so yeah. And then Bert says, books set in Canada? Lindsay, you've got this, chat. Thank you for the confidence, Lindsay. And okay, I'm going to write some of these down. Michael Phillips and Judith Pella had a great series about Scotland in the 90s. I think that's on my Scottish video that I need to write some of those recs down because I've heard of that recently. You probably left a comment there. And Lucy, I haven't read most of these either. We could do a collab. I was actually just thinking the exact same thing. That's funny. I was going to say, you like to do collabs. Let's collab on reading some Canadian authors, not Canadian authors, older authors. And Lindsay, I wonder if you could get prompts based off your O Canada anthem. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, just great work for me, Lindsay. Lucy is always collabing. Yeah, she is, but that's okay. Like collabs are fun, right? What were some of the older ones that were also mentioned that I might not? Oh, Bodie Thorne. I remember my brother reading those. I've actually read Karen Kingsbury. That is one of the older ones I've read that I told my best friend I would never read her. And then she came out with a suspense book. So, I mean, I read her. Oh, Davis Bund. That was the other one. Okay. Okay, Tay, I was thinking you gotta do like maple syrup, your flag, moose, Tim Horton for prompts. Well, Tim Horton could be like a hockey book I've really enjoyed. Flag could be a red and white cover. I don't know, a book with a maple leaf on the cover. Huh. You know, and obviously set in Canada. Lucy, I echo Tay's idea. Lindsay, I'm sorry. I'll listen closely to your anthem and see if I can help. Alrighty. I actually, horrible Canadian here. Horrible Canadian. I probably know the American anthem as well as I know the Canadian anthem. There are certain lines that I always get mixed up in the Canadian anthem. But because I watch a lot of hockey, I obviously hear the American anthem a lot because they sing, you know, the anthems at the games or before, right? And yeah, Bert says, I think you need to read Farley Mowat. Not happening, Bert. We actually have a street in town named after him. I didn't know that for the longest time, but yeah. M says, great ideas, Tay. Anna says, some for the prompt that goes with the stereotype that Canadians are all really nice. Canadians are nice. Come on. Okay, maybe not all, but okay. You guys are being very helpful. Yeah. Ooh. Sorry, now I'm reading ahead. Tay says, listen, I do enjoy making a tag. Okay, so Tay, create my tag for me and then give me the okay, I'm writing down some of the things. Okay, what phrase do you all use a lot? You betcha. A book with EH in it. Yeah. Canada, that's me. Lucy says we could do something like I read an American author I've never read, and you have to read a Canadian author you've never read. Yes. Yeah. Hockey prompt. Katrina, Gilbert Morris was most famous for the Winslow 40 plus books, but also enjoyed the Wakefield Dynasty 5 plus books. Lindsay, Tay, the master tag maker. Yes. Jamie says the Mitford series was in the 90s. Oh, I didn't realize it was that old. I hate to say that the 90s is old. Lee, Robin Jones Gunn also has a series, Glenbrook, from 2010. I wonder if that is similar to Hope Harbor. I'm not familiar. I don't know if I've read a Robin Jones Gunn, honestly. I can't think of any if I have. Bert, I'm not nice. I'm a Grinch. Sorry, Bert. But you're not quite a Grinch either. You're the friendly Grinch. M says, I need to catch up on the Mitford series. Tay, oh, Lindsay, I've only made 2 original tags so far. And they were magnificent, Tay. Thank you, Lindsay. Right? The 90s can't be old. Not at all. Lucy, good night, everyone. Happy working. Sorry. And Jamie says, I need to read that series, Lee. Oh, right, the Robin Jones Gunn series. And Lucy says, God bless your reading. Well, thank you, Lucy. Okay, so we're at the top of the hour. So let's read for another 30 minutes. Happy reading. Okay, that is the end of that sprint. How did you guys do? I read maybe a page and a half, maybe two, but you got my brain thinking for a Canada tag. So I got some questions written down, some possible prompts. We'll see. We'll see if it happens. Okay. So Tori said bye to Lucy because she had to leave us and go back to work. Jamie said it was from Palisades, I believe, but I don't remember much about them. And Katrina said Silk by Linda Chalkin was good too. Not as popular, but I did reread it. And Bethany left us. Good night, everyone. Going to practice the VBS skip for tomorrow and get some sleep. And Lucy said, P.S. Sprints on my channel tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central, as per usual. Katrina was asking for the thumbnail for the notifications. A lot of times she doesn't post it till the day of, Katrina. So yeah, it's not up yet, but Library Girl read Hebrews from the greatest book of all during this round. Thank you for allowing me to participate in my first reading sprint. Good night and God bless. Well, welcome and good night. Tori says, Katrina, if you go to Lucy's YouTube page and click the live tab, it should have it there. Yeah, it should, but it's not currently. But a lot of times she posts it the day of. Tori says, good night to Library Girl. Susan made it to 44%. Susan saying good night to Library Girl. And Tori, my mommy stopped by and brought me a Sonic drink. Nice. So I didn't get much reading done, maybe 15 minutes. That's okay. You saw your mommy. And Morgan got 17 pages read. Yeah. So, yeah, so I have made it to page 49. And it's making me laugh, but it's also making me a little bit sad for the situation that she's in. But the best friend is awesome. And her best friend is named Beth. I just read a book where the best friend was named Beth. A Cry from the Dust by Carrie Stewart Parks. Gwen's best friend was named Beth. And they seem to be teasing the friend the same way that they did in that book. It's funny when that happens, the same sort of thing. Well, what else do we want to talk about? So if I do, yeah, I could, yeah. Sorry, thinking in my head. Dina, I'm on page 60. Good, making progress. I could have made it to 60 if I'd read that sprint, but I didn't read. Allie got 2 chapters read. Nice. Remind me what you're reading, Allie. Are you reading? No. No, you read it. Flame Theory. You read that one because you were waiting for Jamie to finish. I don't remember what you said you were reading. Yeah. Well, what else do we chat about? Oh, right. Scars of the Revolution. That's the Megan Soja book. Yes, I remember that now. As soon as you said it, I was like, oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah. I told you I filmed my thing. So I need to edit that tomorrow, hopefully. And she started To Kill a Mockingbird and started cleaning my kitchen. Lucy will be very happy to hear that you started that one. And Jamie finished her book. Yay, Jamie. Now you can talk to Ellie all your thoughts, right? Tori says, I cleaned my kitchen earlier too. Feels much better once it's done. Yes, definitely. Yeah. I cleaned off my desk. Well, sort of. Before sprints. I mean, it was covered. I just filmed though. So like my TBR was there and I couldn't show you that. And just a bunch of other papers and stuff. So yeah, I cleaned. That was my cleaning for today. For here anyways. I did a little bit of cleaning at work today, but yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I feel kind of not really sure what to talk about. Brain dead? Not quite, but yeah. I really wanted sprints too. Kind of had a difficult few days at work. Just not horrible. It's just, like you think one thing and then something else happens and it doesn't quite. And it's like, wait, what happened there? Why didn't that? But that's okay. It all works out in the end, right? Jamie said it was great, but ended on a cliffhanger. Is there another book already out? Or do you have to wait for the next book? I don't know anything about that. I do know that that's the one that Chantel is reading for her book club. Is it considered a book club? I think so. That's about my knowledge of it. And it's got a dragon on the front of it. That is my knowledge. Very, very limited. Yeah. Well, let's pick another prompt so that I have something to talk to you about. Ellie says, unfortunately, this one was just released a couple months ago, so book 2 will be a while yet. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I used to really avoid reading books and series until the whole series was released because of that reason. Because it just like, what? I need to know. I need to know. Yeah. Tori, that's the worst, Allie. Yeah, it is horrible. Like, I read the Dive Team Investigation series by Lynn H. Blackburn as it was being released. So I had to wait between each book. But then when she was announcing her Defend and Protect series, which is a 3-book series, I waited till all 3 books were released to read it. I read the If I Run series as it was being released. And then I reread the first book before the next book in the book, right? So I read book If I Run, book 1, 3 times. I read If I'm Found twice because I read it before I read the next book that was being released. Yeah. Ali says, I still try to avoid them. This one got me though. Yeah. Yeah. Because I mean, I did that with Lynn's second series, but then, well, no, I was going to say I waited for Gossamer Falls and I didn't. I did, but I didn't. Because I read books 1 and 2 after book 2 was released. So I didn't read book 1 until book 2 was released, but then I had to wait for book 3. And then, like Danny Petrie's current series, Jeopardy Falls, I've read them as they've been released, 1 and 2. I have not gone back and reread them before the next one, but yeah. Sometimes it's just really hard. Okay, so the prompt is a new to me author. Which way is my camera? So what is a new to you author you've discovered recently that you want to read more from? A new to you author. What new to me authors have I read recently? Oh, Melanie Dobson, The Lost Story of Via Bell. That was a new to me author. And now I'm very curious to read others. However, I buddy read that with Sierra, and she had read a few other Melanie Dobson books before, and she said she enjoyed them, but The Lost Story was her favorite of them. So now it's kind of like, if she had told me one of their other ones, because I really loved that one, yeah. Um, that's the only new to me author that I read this year that I would read more from. The other ones I would not read more from. But I've also only read one, which was a nonfiction. So 2, 3. Wow, really? I've only read 4 new to me authors so far this year. Huh. Wow. I didn't think it was that. Wow. As I told you, I stick to authors I know. uh, Allie says, I love it when authors can crank them out and give us a new release every 6 months. Yes, definitely. And Allie says, Karen Whittemire. Ooh. And Tori says, Allie stole my answer. And Allie says, Tori, we should buddy read one. Tori says, ooh, I would love that. Yeah. And Allie says, I've only read Short Straw Bride so far. Oh, that is such a good one. That is such a good one. I was thinking about next year of doing a Read Karen and read Karen Whittemire from publication. So obviously, I think she has more than 12 books. I'm positive she has more than 12 books. But to read them in order of publication, and then like whoever wants to read with me, that's what I'm thinking. I want to do her, and I want to do Lynn H. Blackburn. And Lynn H. Blackburn, 3, 6, 9. 10. No, well, no, she has 14 out, I think. But I don't know yet. I haven't decided. Do I want to commit to one book a month by each author? I don't know. But like, I mean, everybody's reading Karen Whittemire right now. So then it was kind of like, if I do that, like everybody's reading it now, and I wouldn't start it for 6 months. Like it'd be after the fact, right? So I don't know. And Susan says Sarah Beth Dirts and Jamie Ogle. I've never heard of Sarah Beth Dirts. And Tori says, I literally only started Head in the Clouds tonight. This is my first book from her. Oh, nice. Is that her debut? Or is... Huh. What is... No, A Tailor-Made Bride. Yes. I don't want to subscribe. So according to this site, it says A Tailor-Made Bride and then Head in the Clouds and then To Win Her Heart. No, this is not right. Nope, this is definitely not right because it's missing a lot of books. Definitely not right. Oh, sure. Now wait. What just happened? My computer froze for a minute. Lee says, I read a book by Valerie Fraser Lussey and T.I. Lowe and would read more from her. Nice. From them. Yeah. Which T.I. Lowe book did you read? I'd be very curious. And Ellie says, ooh, do it, Jeanette. I will join you. I challenged myself to read 50 books that were not rereads. I've been reading lots of authors that are new to me, and I'm all in for Karen. Ellie says, Tori, I've heard great things about that one. Yeah, like a lot of people have been reading that one in particular recently. Stephanie Dray. I don't recognize that author either. And Lee says, also Mary Alford. I read one by her this year too and really enjoyed it. Yeah. The Among the Innocent, that's over there. Over there is by her. It's so good. But I had read one from her before, so she wasn't new to me this year. Jamie says, Ashton Darrow is one I just heard about that I want to read. Ashton Darrow. And my sister called, so I got sidetracked talking to her. That happens. Gotta talk to family. Okay, we're going to try this Karen Whittemire again. Okay, so it was right. Okay, A Tailor-Made Bride, Head in the Clouds, To Win Her Heart, and then Short Straw Bride. Does it tell me exactly how many she has? But some of them are novella collections, so then they're listed. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to figure that out. So Lee says, I read Under the Magnolias. I met her at an author event in Georgia earlier this year in her newest book. She wrote to heal from the death of her sister. I'm so intrigued to read that one. Ooh, interesting. Her newest book. I feel like I've heard of it. Why can't I think of the title? It sounds familiar, like I feel like I've heard somebody talk about it. Well, if I'm on this website, it'll tell me. I say it'll tell me, and then it doesn't work. South of somewhere. That's it. That's it. Lee, I think it has stuff in the title. Jamie, south of somewhere. Thank you. Lee, yes, Jamie, that's it. Yes. Well, should we do another sprint so that I can read a bit? I should at least get to the end of this chapter. I hate ending and stopping in the middle of a chapter. Okay, the next quote in this one is, hope is a walking dream. Nope, I didn't even read that correctly. Hope is a waking dream. Aristotle. Alrighty, we're gonna sprint. M says yes. Tori says yes. Okay, we're gonna do one last sprint because I do have to go to bed because I have to be at work in the morning, as much as I hate mornings. So it's 10:02 right now. So we'll go to 20 after. That's half an hour. And this will be the last sprint. Happy reading. Okay, that's the end of the sprints. How did you do? I read 28 pages that time. I made progress. I'm just starting chapter 9. The quote above chapter 9 is, "You cannot find peace by avoiding life." Virginia Woolf. So Susan said, "Thank you for the sprints. Have a lovely vacation." Yeah. I'm not on vacation, just my husband is, but that's okay. Thank you. We will have a couple fun days, I'm sure. I mean, I have Wednesday off next week for sure because it's a sad holiday and I don't work. And Lucy, hi. I'm sorry, Lucy. I'm free, but that was the end of the sprints because I need to head to bed. Em says, "Hey, Lucy, working on editing my video. Good night, everyone." Allie got 3 chapters read. Morgan got 19 pages read. And Allie's saying, "Lucy." Nice. Tori, "Lucy." You guys just want me to sound out her name, drag it out. Why not, right? Tori, thank you for the sprint, Jeanette. Well, thank you for coming, Tori. Jamie, I worked on the first Timothy Bible study I'm doing. Have a good night. Thanks for the sprints. You too. Thank you, everyone. And I will be back on July the 7th. This was fun, Jeanette. Thank you. Well, thank you, Allie, and have a good night. So be sure to tune in to Lucy's channel tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. She will be sprinting, and I think Em is sprinting on Thursday. So yeah, there'll be more sprints this week. Good night, everyone. Thank you for coming.